558 at 101 WRIF Detroit. And let's see if there is a traffic sponsor. Yes, there is. Traffic brought to you by the University of Phoenix. Hey, Stress.
Oh.
Hey, here we are. OJ's over with. We have a life. Although we still have to hear from the jurors, so there's still a lot of anger to occur in my body yet. But it's almost over. God almighty. 75 stop on a Dick's, construction in the left lane. Van Dyke at M59, more construction. Lot stop on ramp 94 eastbound closed because of that. No accidents yet. Everybody's still waking up in shock of the farce that went down yesterday. That's a hell of traffic.
Okay, Trudy's brought to you by Applebee's. Stop in for their late night happy hour every night after 10 p.m. at all 10 Southeast Michigan locations.
Well, finally, the real killer will be found. I'm Trudy Daniels, and this is the Riff Rock and Roll Radio News. That's what OJ says he's going to do next. He will not sleep until, of course, he finds the new killer. Well, he did sleep in his bed last night.
The new killer?
The new killer. The old killer.
Let's
the
hope
real
it's
killer.
not a white guy, or man, that guy's going to hang.
But this, of course, after he settles in first in his own bed again. Last night, after a champagne party at his house in Brentwood, with all of his relatives, his sisters, his kids were there. This, of course, all started, the party began when the jury came back with their big decision, the momentous occasion yesterday.
Mr. Simpson, would you please stand and face the jury? Mrs. Robertson.
Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, case number BA097211. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being, as charged in count 1 of the information.
That's famous now. It's been replayed about 100 million times around the world.
Here's the Fred Goldman part you couldn't hear. Murderer!
Yeah, that's true. He said that.
Which, of course, compelled Judge Ito to turn the juice loose.
All right, the defendant having been acquitted of both charges, he is ordered transported to an appropriate Sheriff's facility and released forthwith.
And he went in a white van, reminiscent of the white Bronco chase down the L.A. freeways. This time, reporters chased O.J. Simpson as he made his way home, exonerated of the murder charges against him. Now, they were very quick to point out yesterday he was found not guilty. He was not found innocent.
Yeah, that's
Will
they
say innocent?
Spin on it.
Do they say innocent
No.
when they... No.
They say not guilty.
Well, that's their spin
They say
on it,
not
so you
guilty
don't get so
because
mad.
there was not a preponderance of evidence to prove that he was guilty.
Yeah, there was only DNA, that's all.
Well, that's why they didn't look at him, I'm convinced, the night before, is because they knew they were looking at a murderer.
That's
Who they
and
were
they
going
didn't,
to
they didn't want to
separate.
give him a good night's sleep.
Yeah, I've heard that said a lot, that they knew what they were doing. They knew they were letting a guy
at
off
least
in the name
one
of
of
race.
those people, one of the jurors, spoke up with that sentiment. Her daughter told ABC News that she felt O.J. was guilty, but the Furman factor and the contaminated evidence derailed her not guilty votes.
She started crying, and she said, I think he probably did do it. But what happened is the evidence was not there, mainly because of Furman.
Dumbass.
Because of
And
Furman.
she's real shook up.
Because
and
of
she's
Furman.
real upset.
Because of Furman. What a
The
moron.
other person who was very upset yesterday, did you see Kathleen Bell?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That was
give me a
Catherine
break.
Bell, or whatever her
Somebody
name is.
crying, saying...
I'd like to give that
Weeping about the
pile
whole
of
thing.
crap a kick.
She was one of the first people who initiated the Furman is a racist argument.
Yeah.
And they asked her, she was like, I'm so sorry that I perhaps maybe caused this to happen. And they said, well, would you do it again then? I mean, would you volunteer this information if this were to be replayed again? And she goes, yes.
Right,
How
and she also
stupid.
said she knows he did it.
How stupid is she? I mean, doesn't she understand? Some people cannot see the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
What she's saying is, I know I've set a guilty man free, but I'd do it again.
Yes.
Doesn't anyone have any sense of pragmatism that this man killed two people and the idea is, well, you know, you have to put him away? We can't know everything about every person involved in this case. I bet there's some pretty heinous things about some of the other cops, too, that some other people could come forward with.
Well, there were legends.
And also on the attorney's part.
Yeah, but that's not admissible evidence.
Yeah, it's pitiful.
Well,
We just learned
Another
how it
juror,
works.
What's she
Lionel.
crying about anyway?
She's crying that I think she feels guilty.
She thought she was hoping that somehow or another she feels that she had a social obligation to come forward with what she knew to be true about Furman. So
What did she think that was going to do? What good did she think that was going to do?
Well, yeah, but she thought
other than inflame the jury. How stupid is she? She got played by the defense team just like the jury did.
Right, but she thought from her own conscience she had to do it.
She apologized to the families. She said she felt sorry for them.
And she wished that he would have gone on. Some people said that Shapiro, they feel that in his heart he was sitting there going, please, be guilty. Come on.
Fred Goldman, after the decision, we should hear, of course, how Fred reacted.
We'll never be able to say thank you enough.
To the prosecution, of course.
I will forever be proud of my son and my family. Thank you.
And the Browns, Nicole's father, now says he's not going to resist turning the two children back over to their father, O.J. Simpson. They seemed to placidly accept the decision yesterday and sent the kids right over to the Brentwood mansion saying they love their daddy. They want to be with their daddy.
It's all in the interest of the kids, yeah.
No longer living in O.J. land, however. Cato Kalin didn't have very much to say when Barbara Walters quizzed him yesterday from his post at his talk show in Los Angeles.
Let me ask you something. You did tell me when we did an interview that you had come to an opinion from your own experience. Was your opinion the same as the jury's?
I think on this day that my opinion doesn't really matter.
And he wept last
I told
night
people to listen to 97.1, though. He did mention that.
Yeah, did you see him? They had clips of that with him on the air there.
He promised then that he would spill it all on 97.1, and he wasn't all that forthcoming on the show.
No, he's never been.
Really didn't spill much of anything, according to the person I had listening last night.
That's our sister station, by the way.
Yeah.
How embarrassing.
I know, that is
We're in the same
embarrassing.
401k plan as that idiot.
Yeah.
Boy, was old Bob Shapiro yapping like crazy yesterday, though, telling how he despises Johnny Cochran for the race card that he played, which Shapiro says was played from the bottom of the deck.
I walked into the lockup and I said, you're going to be asked to try on these gloves. They will not fit you.
So do it.
And he looked at me and he said, that's what I've been telling you. That's what I've been saying.
Oh, that is actually
funny, because they were
Robert
extra
Shapiro.
large, your size, OJ.
Yeah, they're extra large, and they were the same kind, and they're rare to boot.
The reason he was telling him was because they fell off. So he said, I'm telling you, man, they don't fit.
That was Robert Shapiro talking about the glove incident, which you were talking about earlier, Mike, regarding how he tried them on himself, and then he compared hand sizes with OJ, and he knew that how it would come out when the prosecution went in. You know, if he were so anti-F. Lee Bailey and anti-Johnny Cochran, he should have just whispered to Chris Darden, hey, don't do that. Don't do the glove test.
Well, but they
we
want
have another
the win,
Robert Shapiro over there, though, talking about how much he hates Johnny Cochran.
That's what they say, is that they want the win, regardless.
He also hates F. Lee Bailey, by the way, too.
Yeah,
I think
he'll never even talk to him again.
He'll never, ever talk to him again, either.
I got Faye Resnick and Robert Carradine.
And
you know what they're talking about, too?
Oh, no, I do have Shapiro. I'm sorry.
To me, the Holocaust stands alone as the most horrible human event in modern civilization. And with the Holocaust comes Adolf Hitler. And to compare this man in any way to a rogue cop, in my opinion, was wrong.
Yep.
Well,
they're talking
Johnny
about
Cochran had a reaction to that. He's like, it's too bad at our moment of victory that Bob should have this reaction.
They said in the
Shapiro.
cafeteria of the courthouse, Shapiro was eating separate from that group for the last several days.
Mm-hmm. And then Barbara Walters also had a little conversation with, and other reporters had a conversation with Faye Resnick.
There are notes, there are diaries that Nicole left behind, and people can't forget that. And you know what? If I have to go public with those notes and diaries, I will do so.
That means she might have another
slow
book
down,
coming out.
Faye, you dumbass.
Yeah. She was on Larry King last night talking about how, well, just like Nicole said, he's going to kill me and he's going to get away with it.
She looks pretty good without the shanker.
Yeah.
Remember when she first came out and she had that shanker on her lip? She doesn't have it now, and she
looks good.
Man, nice lips.
Yeah, I got on Larry King. She's real good. The camera was all over her face, man.
And she's so vulnerable right now. I would love to comfort her.
I love what she was coming out with on Larry King, though, I'll tell you that. That was nice. Her and Dominic Dunn. Oh, that was great, man.
Really nothing new, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's nice to hear it because it's like so often it's always the defense people over and over and over and over again.
And it will be again tomorrow because Johnny Cochran is the guest on Larry King tomorrow. And Larry Schiller says that O.J. is not only shopping around a book deal, there's a lot of scuttlebutt about a pay-per-view special. Larry Schiller helped O.J. write that very first book, I want to tell you. And the guarantee is that O.J. will probably make more money in the first 3 weeks of his freedom than in his entire career.
And I tell you what else, the jurors, if they come out with books, I don't think any of us are going to buy them. They're going to have to get to us through hard copy or something.
Incidentally, in New York City, Con Ed says that there were 93 million watts of power surging on about the time of the verdict. That's 500,000 TV sets being clicked on at once. That's how much, they say, people were craving to know what was going to happen here. The Pope is coming to town today. Actually, he's going to be in Newark, New Jersey. He's going to be in New York City for a couple of masses.
It'd be great if the Pope came out and said, you know, O.J. did it, and he will have to answer to the Almighty.
Another not guilty verdict yesterday in McMinnville, Tennessee, where a woman who packed her little kids away in a van in the middle of the summertime with the windows totally rolled up didn't realize that would kill them when the van heated up like an oven inside as she went into a hotel room to party with 4 guys. She was found not guilty of 2 counts of aggravated child abuse. She was found not guilty of murdering her kids. She was found guilty of 2 counts of aggravated child abuse in the deaths of her toddlers. And that's about it. I mean, I'm just tapped out. Tiring day yesterday,
Oh, it was
it?
exhausting, man. It was just...
I'm very glad to be able to say this to all you guys here on Real Radio because, well, you've been with me these past few weeks. And I want to thank all the listeners there that have been with me and supporting me, and I saying thanks very much.
Shut up.
Cato, you dork.
A loser.
Did you hear about that one juror there was a juror actually laughing when they played the 911 tapes with the photographs in the end on Marcia's closing argument? One juror was actually laughing. God. What?
Laughing?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Cute.
That's heavy.
That's cute.
There was nothing cute about it. It was a very, very tough day for everybody, including the families. I'm sure that Mr. Goldman went home. Now, of course, today the Goldman family will be observing Yom Kippur, which is the Day of Atonement.
Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. There was a lot of sports news yesterday, believe it or not. You'd never know it from watching television, but all the baseball went on last night. Tony Pena hit a 13th inning homer to give Cleveland a 5-4 win over Boston. Cleveland's first postseason game since 1954. Boy, I'm all over the place here. Albert Bell had his 10th inning homer. That kept the Indians alive in a big victory over Boston. That was the longest extra inning game in postseason night baseball history. Yankees beat Seattle 9-6. Boggs and Sierra homered. Ken Griffey Jr. had 2. Reds whipped L.A. 7-2, and Chipper Jones had a couple homers as the Braves beat Colorado 5-4. Game 2 in all those series tonight, 8:07 start. Lions are sold out again. That's the first back-to-back Silverdome sellout since 1983. How about that? Michigan starting quarterback Scott Dreisbach has pleaded no contest to a charge of attempting to purchase alcohol with fraudulent identification. Shouldn't they get some kind of a group plea bargain for Michigan athletes with alcohol purchase arrests?
Yeah.
He's 19 years old. He looks a lot older than that. He doesn't even need to present an ID, I don't think. He'll be sentenced October the 20th in Ann Arbor. Detroit Red Wings over the 95-96 season Friday when they go on the road against the Colorado Avalanche, and there could be changes before then or right around then. First of all, it looks like Vernon will play because his wife gave birth Monday. Now, they had thought that this might drag into the week and he wouldn't go out to Colorado, but no. Vernie's wife, Jane, gave birth at 2:50 p.m. on Monday to a 7-pound, 3-ounce girl. Dino Ciccarelli's been told his career as a Red Wing is coming to an end. They're talking trade with Florida, and Steve Yzerman's been slamming sticks around and just in a foul mood as he is rumored to be on his way to Ottawa for either draft picks or there are a couple of guys they're talking about, Alexei Yashin and a couple other people. So Yzerman, Ciccarelli, or both could be gone by the end of this week. And how about this? Claude Lemieux, last year's Conn Smythe Trophy winner for the Stanley Cup champion Devils, traded twice yesterday. Devils traded Lemieux to the Islanders for Steve Thomas. The Islanders then traded him to the Avalanche for Wendell Clark. What a wild day. Now, here's the guy. I don't think I would trade the guy who led my team to the Stanley Cup.
Wendell?
Just a couple months ago. No, Lemieux.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know. Drew, I don't know what the logic is in all these trades.
Got to be money.
It evades me, man, I tell you.
But Claude Lemieux, no longer a New Jersey Devil, and that is sports on WRIF. Let's see if the guy in a car phone. Oh, my God, you've been hanging on all this time. Tony, are you still there? Apparently not.
His battery's dead.
Who else is hanging on here, Tom? Who's been hanging on? Mike. Hey, Mike, you still there? No. Debbie.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good, how are you? I just wanted to say, I was watching a lot of the coverage yesterday, and I was just so amazed by a lot of the people they were interviewing on the street. And, it seemed that a lot of the women, predominantly the African-American women, just couldn't believe that he was capable. And as far as I'm concerned, man, when I listened to those tapes, those 911 tapes, he was perfectly capable.
I know it. I understand what you're saying. Boy, they were really, they were all pro OJ, boy.
This reminds me so much of that case in Texas, which was a white guy.
Yeah.
Cullen Davis, in that when they interviewed the black jurors after they acquitted him, when he was on tape saying he wanted these people killed, they acquitted him. They said they just could not believe that somebody who had so much would do this. It just was too unbelievable.
I know. Isn't it amazing?
And it is hard to it is incredible that somebody like that would snap.
I think it's like someone like Charles Manson. No one liked him. It was probably very believable that he would orchestrate, even though he never actually stabbed anyone.
No, he wasn't even at the murder scene.
I'm surprised they ever got a conviction on it. Because like they said, Southern California just has a problem with convictions. They can't get the Menendez brothers. The other night there was that movie with Mary Lou Henner. My wife was telling me about that, and that's just another ridiculous story where this guy pled guilty to killing two girls with the intent of killing the third, which was played by Mary Lou Henner, who was left for dead, raped, stabbed, drowned, everything. She was thrown down a hill, and it was just the rolling process that
saved her life.
Yeah, that got the water out of her lungs.
She was like Dudley Moore in 10.
Yeah, the guy admitted to it and everything else, and guess what? He gets released next year.
Well, at least he admitted it, though.
Yeah, but this is after he escapes 10 times from Alabama penal institutions.
Escaped constantly.
Remember that guy who escaped from Alabama's death row and is living here in Michigan?
Oh, yeah, Philip Chance.
Phil Chance,
yeah,
who
won't
extradite back to Alabama.
He's been involved in some pretty substantial crimes since he's been here, including, what was it, a false carjacking report or something?
Yeah,
and Michigan just harbors this guy. Michigan goes, oh, well, we kind of agree with him. To hell with Alabama. And Dateline NBC did this big story on what a farce this whole business of how he was railroaded was and how he never signed his confession, and they presented it to him. And it's BS, but guess what? It means a lot in a certain community, and there are a few people in politics who don't want to offend that community. And did you notice that Bill Clinton jumped into that category yesterday?
Hell yeah.
Because Bill Clinton was not willing to say, I know he did it. I really feel for everybody who's upset about this miscarriage of justice. No politician. Did you hear any politician have the balls to come out yesterday
politician by
and
virtue
say,
of
what a
being
bunch of crap?
Yeah, by virtue of being a politician, they'd never come out with it. And
because there's a certain voting block they don't want to upset.
Well, that's clear.
All I know is if I'm convicted of anything, please send me to prison in Alabama, because you must just be able to walk out of it.
And then come to Michigan.
You know what? You're on your honor. Go into your cell, okay, and lay down and be nice.
Yeah, and this
If you don't really want to be there, you don't have to be there.
In the case of this Mary Lou Henner thing, too, here she lost her vision in one eye because of all this stuff. And this guy, he's vowing to do her in. And the last thing he said to her was something like, I'll get you, mama, and he's coming for her. And he's getting out in 96, and he just can't believe it.
Debbie, what else? Did you have something else you wanted to say?
Well, I suspect some of the reason why a lot of politicians are probably backing away from that. It's so obvious. It's just the way it's dividing it across.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't want to touch that. That's a hot potato.
No, they don't want to offend African Americans and lose that vote. Sure. So it doesn't bother them that a murderer ran free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because that card was played. Larry, go ahead. Larry, WRIF, hi.
Yeah, how you doing?
Hey, man.
Who am I speaking to?
All of us.
Hey, how you guys doing?
All
You guys
right,
are
man.
great.
Well, thank you.
My thing on this OJ bit is, after the verdict was put through, the black guy on the jury put up his arm for black power.
Oh, that's
what's
right.
What's
That's
that
right.
about?
That's right.
It's a racial issue.
I remember that. Yeah,
no,
that was
but all the attorneys afterwards are telling you, race had nothing to do. It was a preponderance of the evidence. They did not have the evidence, and I just...
Right, what is it? Black
Isn't
Black
that something?
Panthers. I'm for you, bro. You're free now. What is that?
I know it. Look at that, man. There's a legal system for you. That's nice,
and for just to be This Judge Ito, he should have been canned a long time ago.
Canned.
Well, I tell you one thing. Did you see Ito? I felt was extremely nervous yesterday.
Sure.
His voice was wavering.
Everyone was.
Yeah, and you know what else?
I was nervous.
Yeah, I was a wreck, man. This really distinguished black lawyer. I have to look up his name. But he's just so good talking about how this thing just went down the way it was. And he said that they knew from the inside. What he was shocked about is that he thought for sure it was going to be a guilty verdict, and that all these attorneys, including Cochran, all these people, thought that that was the case because the way he worded it was within the belly of the beast. He had inside connections right into the domain of that courthouse. And the word was they found him guilty. And everybody was reacting to it and planning for it the following day. And he was just blown away when he was released.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, how you doing?
How you doing?
Okay. I just wanted to make a couple of comments regarding the racial issue because...
it's not a racial issue, though. It was just there's a lack of evidence.
Let me rephrase it then. I agree that the guy is guilty. In my own mind, I'm sure O.J. did the murders. The problem I have is that if it indeed had been an entire black jury voting, then you could say, fine, it's a racial issue. There were white women. Part of the problem I have is that it should have been a hung jury if indeed there was any delineation between white and black mindsets on the jury.
But that jury was picked by a jury consultant. And by the way, one of the white women on that jury, the 61-year-old, had previous experience. She was on a murder jury. She was the only one that wanted acquittal, and she turned the entire jury around.
Right.
The other white woman was a 23-year-old insurance adjuster, and I don't really know what.
The other thing I found to be extremely odd was that women, a predominantly woman jury, with all the spousal abuse and the 911 tapes, could find him innocent.
Yeah, but you know what? That's what I found out a couple of weeks ago when they were interviewing someone. Oh, this was on Bonds. And they had a representative from that group of the of women that are abused and whatnot. And that's what they said. That and also a jury consultant was on Larry King, I saw. So between the both of them, they were saying, ironically, women on a jury, if there's spousal abuse, do not react to it, and that they knew that going into this for some reason. It's a really bizarre
Well, that's what I thought. It was pretty bizarre, but that's all I wanted to say.
But Drew's right. There was a jury consultant, Joe Allen Demetrius, that bought this jury right out of the get-go, and all you had to do then was insert Cochran and let the system run by the very oiled, very slippery Johnny Cochran, and away you go.
I just can't help but laugh, too, at how the jury thinks they've sent this huge message to the world, and actually they just got used by Johnny Cochran.
They sure did.
Because if there hadn't been Mark Furman, O.J. would be in jail right now. Mark Furman's the best thing that ever happened to O.J. Simpson. I absolutely think it, don't you?
Well, he was going to be set free right out of the
you mean you
get-go.
think? You think he would have been freed if there were no Mark Furman?
Oh yeah, by virtue of that jury.
Okay, here. Let me put it this way, Trudy. Mark Furman was very good for O.J. Simpson.
Oh,
there you go.
He was good for O.J. Simpson. There's no doubt about that.
And Mark Furman, incidentally, is nowhere to be seen. They've been staked out outside of his place in Idaho.
You know
his white supremacist neighborhood.
Hey, Wesley.
Yeah.
Was Mark Furman good for O.J. Simpson?
That's what you want to call it.
Well, like Dominique.
No, I know. I hate to put it that way. It sounds ridiculous, but I mean, he helped him.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
I'm a 24-year-old Afro-American. I'm getting ready to be a state trooper, and I'm just so pissed off. As far as the O.J. Simpson spiel is concerned, he never did anything for black people as far as like donating stuff and none of that. But when it came down to it, he wanted us to back him.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what bothers me the most is that I feel a lot of people have been just played like a trump card, like a drum, and they think that this great thing has happened. And the truth of the matter is, if it were them and their whatever they make, say $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year salary paying the lawyers, Johnny Cochran would say, hardy, har, like I'm going to represent you.
And moreover, O.J. Simpson went home to his predominantly white neighborhood.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, man, but what a great comment on your part, man. You summed it up beautiful.
For the longest time, everybody he's dealt with has been white. You know
yep, that's right, man.
You're like his wife.
Everybody who's his business partners, everybody has been white.
Right.
But when it came down to it, he wanted us to back him.
That's so
because
cool,
it was
man.
convenient.
You're so right.
Because it was convenient, Wesley, and it's also it's a trendy defense too. It's very trendy, and this really upsets me to know that when you are on trial, you may need people of your own race to bail you out.
Oh, yeah. Now, I can bet you guys any amount of money. How much I can guarantee it. He won't want us to back him now.
Oh, absolutely no. He's already
Well, yeah,
done.
I disagree. I think Wesley eventually he's going to have to because I don't think that there are going to be many places he's welcome.
Well, I think he's going to end up going to Mexico or somewhere.
I don't think he's too welcome in the black community.
Well, I would hope
my
so.
My friends are black, and it was like, we all feel that, he's a son of a bee.
Yeah, I saw so many black guys on TV saying the same thing. And
I saw a lot of black people who were delighted and celebrating and cheering and high-fiving and couldn't have been happier.
You know what, guys? I don't think it was so much for OJ. I think it's more or less because everybody likes Johnny Cochran. Nobody don't care.
And what he's arguing.
It's very complicated dynamic, but it did appeal, obviously, to a lot of African Americans, as did the whole defense. Hey, Wesley, good luck. Thanks for calling, and I'm going to try to just run through some people who've been holding here. Is this Phil?
Yes.
Hey, bud.
Hey, what I'm wondering is when Mr. Goldman decides to get his justice, will he be able to find the racist element to get himself off?
Well, I don't know.
I don't think a jury. I think you'll get jury nullification in its truest form with Mr. Goldman because I don't think anyone would convict him. And
Mr. plea will work.
Mr. Goldman to me represents the punter. And O.J. Simpson has run through all the special team players. And Mr. Goldman is just the little punter who rarely has to tackle somebody, but he's got a gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing of it is, I'm still not convinced. Goldman might... I was so convinced he was going to do that, but after listening to him yesterday, he may just end up being like this big advocate of victims and so forth and might channel it that way.
I hope he does. Shooting O.J. won't help.
The prosecution did save the trump card of the Bronco chase, which means they could introduce that as new evidence.
No, but you can't try him again.
12 absolutely insane, out of touch, recluses.
But see, they can't try him again.
No, they can't, unless they try him on federal charges, a la the Rodney King perpetrators. Yeah. Isn't it funny, too, how here, this country, when the Rodney King verdict comes out, were you not outraged by that verdict? I was.
Oh, my God.
I couldn't believe it. I thought I was delighted when the federal government said, well, you know what? There's this funky little statute. We're going to try those guys again, and we're going to make sure justice happens. But would they dare do that to O.J. Simpson? Don't even think about it.
Look what happened.
Well, they're doing this out in front of the courthouse. There's people dancing and partying.
Oh, I know. It was disgusting. And notice how the news media set up cameras in some of the African-American churches and organizations and whatnot, to get that kind of response that they could throw up on the screen for us.
Well, I work in Detroit at a Chrysler organization, and there's a black bar across the street, which we go to occasionally, but as we're leaving work, the place was packed. There was a big sign outside, "Let's party for OJ." And I was
God. Right, and you'd hope that color would not obscure what somebody's done.
It does.
It does. It didn't matter what he did.
No,
once they put that fancy defense up there. Hey, Rick.
How you doing? Good morning, guys.
How you doing?
And you too, Trudy. One quick thing. What it boils down to, and I know you guys aren't going to like this opinion of mine, is that the prosecution was outclassed and they lost.
Yeah, they were. No, a rich man was on trial. He had a very powerful defense, a very trendy defense.
Charismatic.
Right. Charismatic. Well, but they had a trendy defense, so it's kind of like, remember when the battered wife defense was so effective, Trudy, when women were shooting their husbands? And that was a really hot, trendy defense. You could lay that out there, and if you had a good lawyer and you had money, you could get off. And right now, I think the same thing is true with racism.
Oh, yeah. Oh, clearly.
It's a smoking defense.
Oh, clearly.
If you got the right people playing it and you have a lot of money.
Right. And this is definitely a slap in the face to spouses that are beat up and whatever, because the message is there.
Rick hung up, but I agree with him. They were outclassed. The prosecution did not have the guns.
No.
The defense said they have a lot of resources. They have all the resources you could ever want. And L.A. certainly spent the money.
And they worked hard.
But you have to have some pretty persuasive people up there to overcome a defense team like that. Grayling not there?
Yeah, to sit there and buy the jury and then load 15 of the top attorneys of the country on top of that, hang it up, man. It overcame DNA, which has huge possible impact.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing this morning?
All right.
Hey, I got 3 things to say. First, OJ did it. Second of all, I think that the white people ought to riot.
So it was funny because somebody was laughing the other day saying, like, people ought to tear up Grosse Pointe. Oh, the whites are rioting. Grosse Pointe's up in
looting Somerset Mall.
Birmingham.
No, that's ridiculous, though. I mean, how absurd.
That's hilarious.
That's the thing. I was trying to think yesterday of a corollary, and I couldn't really think of the right thing. Like when John DeLorean got off. I mean, we really are. How can we compare white people and black people? It's impossible because we don't feel that we've been oppressed for a long time. So when someone like John DeLorean gets off, we don't say, "Oh, hooray for white people! A white guy got away with something." No. I mean, I thought,
priorities.
We're delighted when, like Ted Bundy, big example. I mean, we're all delighted. We took a great happiness in his execution.
I took equal offense at John DeLorean and O.J. Simpson getting off, because John DeLorean, I mean, he's on videotape. It's good as gold. He's looking at the drugs.
And the thing of it is with this O.J.
And he got off because he's got big bucks.
Right. And when you think back to this whole thing in the very beginning, remember, nobody was thinking about race at all.
You know what? One more thing. What's that white chick doing with the black guy anyways? You know what I'm saying?
Now, they covered this on Oprah Winfrey yesterday.
What's that?
They covered this on Oprah Winfrey yesterday.
Tony, what you say, that's just, you're inflaming black people when you say something like that.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh man.
You are part of the division between the two races when you say something like that.
But
you're saying something that some people, other people think.
Right.
But I guess
inflamed already.
But you know what? Remember when we talked with Johnny Cochran's ex-wife?
Yeah.
On the subject of Nicole and white women, what was she saying to you about the diamond or something?
They're a prize.
Johnny saw it as
Johnny Cochran saw it as the white man's jewel.
Yeah.
And when he got a white woman, then he was stealing jewels from the white man. That was how Johnny Cochran looked at interracial relationships. Tony, it's too bad you said that. I mean, you really shouldn't say something like that, but you think it and you said it, and that's part of why we're having this battle right now.
Now, interestingly enough, though, on Oprah Winfrey yesterday, they were covering the issues that divide us, and one of them was, in fact, Oprah got in the face of one of her guests, or actually one of her audience, saying, black women don't like it when white women steal their men. And a couple of the white women in the audience were saying, no, what are you talking about? Because everybody's trying to argue that we're supposed to be the same and that we're all supposed to get along. That kind of flies in the face of that argument if you're saying that. And Oprah was just like, no, accept it. Black women don't like it when white women steal their men.
Oh, accept it. Okay, so in other words, we should accept what Tony said.
That's how it is. Right?
We should accept what Tony said too. Then that white men don't like it when black women steal their women.
So she's saying,
because that's politically incorrect to say what Tony said was wrong. We're all supposed to be outraged that he said that. But yet this black woman says that on Oprah, and it's okay.
It was Oprah who said it.
Well, that's exactly right. But you hear the same argument with the N-word. Remember, we were hearing all that. That
black people can say it.
Absolutely.
Well, that is a very. I think there is a different. I can understand that difference.
Yeah,
more than I can understand the other one. Oprah also said yesterday that she thinks, and a lot of her friends think, that most white people think and talk like Mark Furman, and I wanted to punch out the television set.
Yeah, that is a lie. That is crap.
When the audience disagreed with her, they all kind of went, no, and she said, no.
That's not
the way it is.
That's really sad.
You have to accept it.
I just can't. What really blows my mind in the whole thing is just how far apart we are. It just blows my mind.
Yeah,
is it Marty?
Yeah.
How you doing, bud?
Hi, okay.
What were you calling about?
Hey, what I was calling about, all race things aside and everything, remember all those people who called into you and every other station? They were so sure that O.J. was innocent. Doesn't matter how feeble-minded those people were, they all now think that they were smart and they were right. What kind of effect is that going to have on society?
That's what I mean. That's what Johnny Cochran...
Right.
You know, all these duped people going around thinking
they were right.
Yeah, I know.
I know everything now.
I know.
And Johnny Cochran just smug as can be. Man, look at how I played the people.
I know. And Johnny Cochran, too, he's looking at his rate before the trial and his rate after the trial. Yeah, that's
I know,
so
that's
true,
frightening. And every once in a while, you scratch your head and you go, wow, did I see something that, was I wrong all along? I mean, you really wonder.
It was funny,
that's why Robert Shapiro was so mad, though, because Cochran is just going to
That's right. And it was interesting, too, to see all of these legal analysts. Oh, my God, is there a million of them? And it was funny to see, too, how they were reacting and talking and guessing and about what was going to happen in the verdict and the things that they would say before and then the things that they would say after. And definitely afterwards, there was so much more confidence and bold statements and all this stuff now that they know what happened.
Lawyers.
Yeah.
Right all along.
But you know
brother.
what, man? You know, the whole thing is it's interesting in talking about this racial thing, too. It's like there's probably, a lot of whites that probably sit there and see this as like this big example of what's wrong between the races and that this is just highlighted, the whites that have a problem with African Americans. It's probably inflamed them to say, you see, this is why we've got this problem. Whereas if it went the other way around, everybody would probably be saying like, hey, you know what? The races, we're really together. Everything's pretty cool. Black jury predominantly, and this worked out, and hey, we've come a long way.
Charles Holder raising a fist in the air as the huge crowd around him surged with a mix of joy and disbelief outside L.A. County Courthouse. But even as he celebrated the outcome, calling it a victory over past injustices, Holder believed something else in his heart. He got away with murder, said the 38-year-old black man.
Wow.
Holder realizes a lot of people, especially whites, might not understand how some black people like himself could think justice was served if a killer walked free. Said he was bothered by the gruesome slayings, but he's also convinced that the police try to frame black defendants. A black man doesn't stand a chance with the cops. I'm not saying that what happened to Nicole and Ron was right. Nobody deserves to die, man. But there are bigger things involved here. It's a racial thing. Susan Watson said the same thing on Channel 7. Not exactly, but she did say, this is bigger than O.J. It sends a message to LAPD. So what is the message? I am missing the message. The message is, if there's any racism, it's okay to send murderers free.
Well, I know, Drew.
Until someone does something about it and makes it stop, just send people free until everyone gets so mad that they'll have to stamp racism out.
Or there'll be just so rampant crime, there'll be dead bodies laying all over the place because it'll be okay. That's exactly right. That
I just can't stand the idea that somebody who committed an act like that would be out there. And I feel the same way about this clown in Texas with the multi-million-dollar defense, Cullen Davis, who shot his own daughter.
Right.
And his soon-to-be ex-wife and
that
somebody's
white
boyfriend.
Guy. That's exactly right. But Drew, you're right. That is the heart of this matter, and that's the stuff that you feel upset by in your heart with this whole thing. Beyond the fact that a murderer was set free, but the fact that it would be okay based on race for any of this stuff to go on, so that it can run rampant and it's okay.
And it's funny, Marty pointed out, these people that thought he's guilty who now think, yep, I'm smart, I was right.
I know.
Don't try to tell me that because someone is found not guilty means they didn't do it. That's the part I really just want to vomit when people suggest that.
And that's their spin to try to correct their point of view and tip things back to the way they know that it really is.
And when they asked Garcetti if he was going to reopen the case, I thought he was going to throw up right on the spot.
Laughing.
Like, oh, yeah.
I know. That's what was funny, too.
Yeah, you want us to go over to O.J.'s house again and Bundy again? Mm-hmm. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. It's 101 WRIF, 636 with Drew and Mike. Hey, we're going to get Barf Boy to vomit for us. I think we all want to vomit, don't we?
I think.
And make some calls around the world and see how the rest of the planet is taking the news yesterday.
Hey, ladies, the Riff and Wild Woodies have put together a night where you rule. Every Wednesday night is Ladies' Night at Wild Woodies with free admission for ladies only. Plus, ladies can judge the search for the best-looking Wild Woodies guys.
Oh, baby.
And guys, you can get your slice of the pie on Wednesday nights as well. With the pie eating contest.
That is great pie.
Wild Woodies. And don't forget the Wild Woodies Calendar Girl contest continues as well. Ladies, this is your chance to be on the Wild Woodies 1996 calendar. Plus, win other great prizes. Calendar Girl photography provided by the Action Photographers of Hockey Weekly. Everyone can get dollar drafts and $1.50 long necks. Plus, I'll be loaded down with Riff freebies. Join me, the Doc, Doug Podell, tonight for another Riff Ladies Night at Wild Woodies. Ladies get in free. Wild Woodies is located on Gratiot, just south of the 14 Mile, across from the Macomb Mall in Roseville. Call 294-5331. It's another Ladies Night at Wild Woodies. We'll see you there.